Hi everyone, welcome to today's YouTube Live. We're going to talk about today's 200-day moving average. Very simple and straightforward. I get a lot of questions about 200-day moving average. If you watch CNBC or one of those shows, you'll hear them talk about the 200-day moving average almost as if it was like a religion. Let me say two things. Number one, I don't think it's unimportant. Number two, a lot of people are going to be asking, are you talking about a simple moving average or like an arithmetic or what's it called, an exponential moving average? I'm going to be looking at the simple moving average, simple 200-day moving average for illustration purposes. Before we look at the charts, and I'm going to show you guys a very important thing here, I want you to think of any given stock as having like a personality, right? So like you have a personality, I have a personality, I hope. No, we all have different personalities, right? But so each stock has a personality, which is to say that each stock is going to respect a moving average, to a certain degree. But maybe it'll respect a different moving average in other stocks. At the same time, any given stock, just like us, we have mood swings, right? So sometimes we're in a good mood, sometimes in a less good mood, that kind of thing. So a stock is not always going to respect its whatever the moving average might be, whether it's 200-day or whatever, all the time just because that's the stock and that's what it does. It's going to sometimes react to it, sometimes it won't, but average it may react to it fairly well. So I hope that makes sense. Let's look at the charts so I can illustrate all of this a little bit better. Right now, we're looking at the S&P 500, and this is a live chart. In other words, this is happening right now, and this is kind of relevant right now. So the 200-day moving average is your red line. Again, it's a simple moving average, a simple 200-day moving average. And you can see that the S&P 500 has respected this moving average off and on. It respected it here more or less, respected it here, respected it just recently, and right now we're actually marginally pushing below it, but it's not yet really known whether we're going to be breaking below it. Same thing can be said for like the financials ETF, or the financial sector of the S&P 500. You can see we're right now right at it. We've respected it in the past. At previous points in the past, it wasn't so important, like for example here. So you can see sometimes the moving average is important, sometimes it's not that important. What is important to understand is that the more decisive a break above or below the moving average is on at least a daily, preferably on a weekly closing basis, the more important it is. So like right now, for example, if you look at the S&P 500, I'm going to use the SPY ETF. You can see that up here, okay? I am much more concerned about a weekly close below that moving average. You can also, by the way, use the 50-week moving average, which is not too far off from the 200 days. So like right now, if I were to make this a weekly chart, you can see that the yellow line is your 50-week moving average, right? So it roughly coincides with the 200-day moving average. What I'm concerned about is a close on a weekly closing basis below that 50-week, or again, maybe below the 200-day moving average, okay? That would be my concern, and I mean like a notable close below, not just by like, a tiny little, blip below it. I want to see a meaningful close below it to give me an idea that this may now start to get violated, okay? So again, what's important to understand is that yes, the 200-day moving average is going to be important for some markets. It's going to be important for the S&P 500, but it's not always going to carry the same importance. And it also doesn't mean that just because you break below it a tiny bit or break back above it a tiny bit, that's like the new bull trend or the new bear trend. It's not that easy, right? Markets are more complex than that. So if this was helpful, folks, please give us a thumbs up like. If you enjoy this, please tell everyone else you know about it. If you hate it, please give it a thumbs down so we make sure we can make sure you don't follow us anymore. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you guys in the next YouTube Live.